welcome to Best of 6. Joining me, as always, is Dan, Julian, Larome, Mauricio, and Mitch. The whole gang is here. Let's go into the news.
Our power is unrivaled in all the universe.
Hallelujah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon. So,
I brought a dresser for
Watch
them today.
Man in the High Castle.
or don't. All right,
Or do it.
Yeah, do it. And turn on tap once to buy or whatever the hell they call it.
Use promo code. Never mind. Continue.
And remember, kids, get your parents' permission before you use their credit card. Wink.
You can get a free month of Amazon Prime using the promo code BEST6.
Yeah, limited
Happy
time, so first come, first serve. So if it doesn't work for you, it means you weren't soon enough.
I already used it. I'm sorry.
Prove
everyone.
it. Yeah, we had one entry.
No one else entered, so I was like, okay, might as well.
All right, so first
All right,
topic.
Dan, this is all you. Magnus Carlsen wins World Chess Championship.
Beating Fabiano Caruana. So I talked about this on our last episode. World Chess Championship happened in London. Pretty cool. They played 12 games. It was the first to 6.5 points, where you get a point for winning and a half a point for getting a draw. And after 12 games, if there's no decisive winner, you go to a tiebreaker. They played 12 games. They had 12 draws, which is the first time that's ever happened in a World Chess Championship. So they needed to go to a tiebreaker.
That's crazy.
Is there a way to prevent a draw in the tiebreaker?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way it goes is in the tiebreaker, if they draw in the tiebreaker, then they go to another tiebreaker, and if they draw in that tiebreaker, then they play one last game, and if that game is a draw, then whoever was black in the last game wins.
What?
Wait, sorry. Which one moves first?
White moves first.
White.
Okay, I guess I can see the logic there.
Did they pick black to avoid racism?
I think black moves second.
Black is
They
at a
pick
disadvantage,
black because-
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
In, like,
okay.
high-level
Oh,
chess,
True.
And yeah, okay, I see the connections now.
I
Yeah.
see what they're doing. I see
Yeah.
the connections.
White has the advantage. Black, yeah, okay.
So
Oh my god.
So they played 12 games, did 12 draws, and then it goes to what's known as rapid time controls, which is 25 minutes, and I think it was 20-second increments for each move. And Magnus Carlsen just destroyed Caruana.
So once it went to rapid chess, it was no contest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Caruana
okay.
is
Interesting.
amazing in classical time controls, which is like you have forever to take a move, and like players will spend 20 minutes thinking about one move. The interesting thing is, in game 12, Magnus Carlsen had a winning position, and Fabiano Caruana was running out of time, and Magnus Carlsen offered him a draw. Because he knew he would just, like, he wasn't certain that he could win from that position, but he was certain that he would just destroy Caruana in faster time controls. So he's like, listen, either you take the draw or I probably beat you. Like, what are you going to do? And Caruana accepted the draw.
Wow.
But yeah, it was pretty fun to like follow. I was following it. I was actually watching it during Thanksgiving when my family was while watching football. I was watching chess, and they're like, "What you doing on your phone?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I'm watching a real sport, Dad.
Yeah. I realized like where that like the next logical beat is in that train of thought, and I was like, oh no, I'm about to come off as like an anti-sports nerd who thinks he's superior to those sports watching Neanderthals. I want that to happen, and I was like, oh no, how do I stop this? So I just stopped talking mid-sentence. That's what happened there. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. Caruana was American, so I was rooting for Caruana, but Magnus Carlsen's like just definitively the best player in the world, so it's not like a super surprising thing. Although Caruana is like in classical time controls, Caruana is definitively the second best. He's like only a couple points behind Magnus Carlsen. And then in like rapid, Carlsen's ranked like 2 or 3 in the world, and Caruana's like 100th. So that's kind of why Carlsen was like, okay, I'll go to rapid.
Cool. All right, moving on to the next news topic. We got Nintendo is shuttering its controversial YouTube Creators Program.
Cue the crab gif when the crabs are dancing. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so
Bringing
this
the
seems
dancing
like
lobster.
it's mostly good news. Their creator program, for those who didn't know, was highly restrictive on creators, where Nintendo basically took a cut for monetizing videos, and like they had a lot of restrictions on like what you could make money off of from them. Even though it's your content, it's just their
Yep.
games being featured.
Wow.
And it was just very much not what all other game companies do. Nintendo's like, oh, we're gonna make this cute program that makes no sense compared to every other game on the planet.
With all that free money they could have had for Ultimate.
Nintendo
It's right
very
there.
much associated streaming games with pirating them. Because if you
Yep.
watch the game playthrough, why would you ever buy the game?
Yep.
That's what
Especially
Sakurai thinks.
That was
Yep. That was.
So-
Understandable, but a little outdated.
In their tweet, they said, thanks to everyone who participated in the program. Who participated in the program?
There was a lot of people.
Really?
Well, it was. I mean, to be fair, if you were like a mostly Nintendo-focused content creator, your choices were more or less either don't
participate.
be able to monetize any Nintendo content, or monetize your Nintendo content, risk getting sued.
I didn't hear anything about like Shoka Conroy being involved in this.
There was like
Wasn't
a lot
this
of people who were like part of the creators program that you might have, like Etika was part of the Nintendo creators program, believe it or not.
Not anymore.
What?
Yeah.
This
Wasn't
content
wasn't this one of the wasn't this the program that like set off Angry Joe that one year, like years ago?
No one doubted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything sets him off because that's what he's
Well,
paid to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think he like put up a Mario Party 8 video years ago, and it got taken down like as soon as this stuff kind of started. And he was trying to play like the victim, even though creators knew about this months ahead of time, and they were given prep, and just like they knew that it was coming, and yet he still did it. I just remember, I'm pretty sure this is the program.
Like, remember,
Yeah.
there was one content creator who, whenever he was talking about a Nintendo game, he would just play modded Skyrim instead. Like he was just running around in Skyrim with just Link's tunic and the Master Sword modded in.
that's really funny.
Yeah. By the way, this doesn't mean that Nintendo has totally gotten rid of their stranglehold on their content. On content with them, like they still do have guidelines that you're required to
Okay,
follow.
those guidelines basically say don't stream games that haven't been released. Don't stream anything that
Oh,
Well, no.
Uh.
Yeah, the guidelines in particular are like that people can use gameplay footage and screenshots captured from games, but they need to add their own commentary. Videos that merely show Nintendo footage without creative input are not allowed.
Ew.
That still sucks.
What if I don't want their commentary?
Yeah, and also, this is, RIP speedrunners.
I understand where they're coming
Like-
from because they're avoiding they don't want people to directly upload their content. Like, but at the same time, there's other stuff that doesn't involve commentary. Like you mentioned.
Yeah, there's
speedrunning.
speedrunning, like it's their own spin
Yeah.
on gameplay that doesn't actually have to, it's weird to require talking and commentary.
I understand
Well,
where they're
didn't
coming
What
they-
if you're a
didn't they-
mute streamer? Then what? You just
Okay, didn't they say creative commentary
Don't be mute.
or creative input? I mean, I feel like speedrunning should fall under that, but who's
this says
They're-
commentary.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess speedrunners now just record their face while doing it and talking about random stuff. Also, someone brought up in that thread, apparently in Smash 4, they could not stream Midgar because of the third-party music, and that
Yeah.
might be an issue in Smash 5.
I mean, I saw that people, during the Nintendo streams for Smash Ultimate, they had to mute Cloud's victory theme.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, well, time will tell. Continuing on, the FTC agrees to investigate loot boxes. That's
It's
it.
happening.
All right,
I
Bethesda.
mean,
Wait, we're
What are they
moving on
gonna
from this, really?
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
We're like the
We've
loot box
talked about loot
podcast.
boxes.
No, he's
We have talked
continuing.
about loot boxes, so yeah, continue to the next news topic. We've talked
mean-
about loot boxes. I mean, everyone knows what this is all about. I think everyone
What
knows
could they
our.
possibly do?
That's what, like,
Nothing.
That's something to
we're
talk
saving this
about.
one
But do
for
you
the
think the
end.
FTC is going to find something about this, or like
No
it's gonna
clue.
come up with nothing? Oh, okay.
I have.
Weren't they the ones that investigated No Man's Sky marketing and said they did not lie about anything?
I don't-
Sounds like No Man's Sky had the Federal Trade Commission in the back of their pocket. Hmm.
Well, that was the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also,
That's an
that's not how
unimportant
that
thing.
turn of phrase goes. But
Whatever. Next
What I said
topic.
or what he said.
what he said. They had the FTC in their pocket? No, I think. All right, never mind.
Yeah, what?
I was sorry, Mauricio. I couldn't let that go unchecked.
No, it's all right. I didn't.
I thought we were saving this for the end.
No, I kept the other one for the end. The
Okay,
su-
we're doing the other one.
yeah.
Got it.
So, Bethesda could be sued for Fallout 76.
Well,
This
it's
is not about the
game
bag
they're
yet.
being sued for.
No, this isn't the bag. This isn't about the
Oh.
bag. This is about the game.
There's another lawsuit? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Another
Yes!
lawsuit.
Yes,
Whoa.
this
Oh,
one.
I thought this was about the bags.
Nope, this one's
No.
not about the bags yet. That one's that's our next topic. But
Oh,
this,
God.
Bethesda, what happened to you?
a law firm
What
is
happened?
looking into filing a class action lawsuit against Bethesda for allegedly failing to provide refunds to disappointed buyers of Fallout 76.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which is probably why it wasn't on Steam, because they guarantee refunds.
Oh. Oh.
A bad game? Like,
Oh, the game is
Yeah, it-
objectively broken.
It's glitchy. It's unfinished.
It's
just.
it's borderline unplayable for a lot of people.
That's what
Yeah.
I hear.
Like the game has so many technical problems. Not to mention that the game also just kind of sucks as well, from what I've heard. Like
One of our
it's just
mutual
kind of
friends
really
likes it,
boring. Yeah, but he's also like an absolute Bethesda sheep.
He's a fanboy. and-
Like,
I'm a Bethesda shill and I hate this crap.
have you played it?
No,
Oh my god! Then your opinion matters less.
that's
What?
fine. You got me there. All right.
while
I'm a
minor
fraud.
bugs.
You caught me.
While minor bugs and glitches are expected with the release of most new games, Fallout 76 launched with a 56 GB patch that has proven to be but a starting point for the game's problems.
Yeah.
I like the way that's worded.
But it's starting to.
Gamers who have tried to receive a refund because of the game's myriad of glitches have been unable to do so since they downloaded the game, leaving them to deal with an unplayable experience until patches bring it back to a playable state.
If
Hashtag
that
don't
happens.
pre-order. Wait for reviews. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah, for real. Like, I was almost gonna buy this game, and then I heard how bad it was, and I was like, whoa, never mind. I'm actually glad that my laziness kept me from buying it day one. Because if it worked, I totally would have played with like some other people I know. It would have been great.
Buying day one is a scam unless it's Smash or something. You trust.
Especially
wouldn't
for a
say
game
that.
that's especially for a game like Fallout, which is a game as a service. They're gonna add stuff later, so like you only benefit by waiting because you can get it for a cheaper price and
Well, yeah,
it's a better
but some
game.
some of it. I mean, there's something to be said for like the excitement of like day one play, especially for like a new online game and like having a whole new blind experience. There is something to be said for all that.
Yeah, I agree, but day
Well,
one
I don't.
versus
I mean,
day one,
I
you know?
wouldn't trust Bethesda with anything like
We
that.
would have. We
but-
did. This is the one fuck up, and it was major. Never before have they done. At least I don't remember anything.
Well, they've never
like,
done a
as
multiplayer
catastrophic
game
as
like
this.
I don't trust Bethesda with entering a completely new thing like this.
they
West
consistently
Virginia.
released like unfinished
Okay.
products.
Bethesda definitely releases some unfinished stuff.
Like there's
I mean,
there's a
Skyrim
fan
and-
patch for Oblivion that fixes like a bunch of stuff.
There's
I
always
mean-
an unofficial patch.
Those unofficial patches are nice, but
Oblivion is completely
Oblivion,
playable
Oblivion
without
through
that.
Fallout 4 are not broken.
That's
Yeah.
no, you got a good point there.
Yeah.
PC New Vegas was kind of bad.
But like Bethesda is pretty bad about like once like problems are found in some of their games, just never bothering with them.
You know what's funny about this? Remember that article that came out? Bethesda said they promised spectacular bugs and glitches in Fallout 76. Look where
That's
we are
because
now.
it was supposed to be endearing, like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
getting
like
sent to
oh,
space
little
by a
graphical glitches, or an NPC gets stuck in the ground, or
They're
not
embracing
like
the meme
not
because
like
that's the
oh,
right
this game is an
marketing move to make.
unplayable mess.
Yeah.
This game crashes constantly. For some people, you're just not gonna be able to even run the thing. Online servers don't work. Hackers galore. Yeah, this is a different level.
All hail Todd Howard, our Lord and Savior.
Profit of profit.
Yeah, speaking of
Is he-
Bethesda, Bethesda offers 500 atoms to customers affected by Fallout 76 Baggate.
Okay, so explain
500
this to me.
atoms?
Okay, so in the
Is that the
pre-order
in-game
bonus,
currency?
well, in the special edition of the game or whatever, the $200 version, it comes with a bag that is advertised as a canvas bag. I don't know what that means.
It
But
was.
eh.
On the page, it said canvas carrying bag, and then
Yeah,
later on they
absolutely
just changed
says
it to. Yeah, and then later on they changed it to a nylon carrying bag.
Which there is
So,
a big
They,
difference.
they tried to change it later, but at that point people had already pre-ordered it, and then like it shipped out, and they were like,
So
"Well,
they scam people into buying a.
That's actually a scam.
yeah."
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
I was about to say I wouldn't say scammed. More
Yes,
they
no, no,
just
it's a
changed it
scam.
later because they
You can't-
forgot.
That's a
sounds like
scam.
a scam.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
a
I know
scam.
it's a scam. I know.
So I was browsing Reddit earlier today, and I saw a thread on r/out of the loop about this. And I just want to say, they offered 500 in-game credits to anyone who can prove that they bought this bag.
Yeah. Yep.
The actual in-game postal bag that like is modeled after this costs 700 credits.
That's kind of funny, actually.
You can't
You
even
can't
buy
use
the
the
in-game
You can't
bag.
buy the in-game bag with their credit. Wow.
500 credits.
Hold on,
Also, that's some
Dan.
shit. This
Dan.
edition costs $200 real-world dollars.
And that's,
Dan, hold on.
well, that's
hold
two
on.
esports, but
Don't you think that would be like even more insulting? Like to some people, like, hey, listen, we know we didn't give you the real bag. The real bag's shitty. Here, have the digital one. It's like,
Well,
I
no,
mean,
they give
like
you
what?
in-game credits to buy whatever cosmetics you want, but it wasn't even enough. Like, it would have been shitty if they gave you 700, which would be enough to buy the in-game bag. They gave you less than that.
Which is
And,
like,
like,
even
and
another
what is-
level.
Extra shitty.
and what kind of thing is that? Like, oh, we're sorry we screwed you over. Here, would you like an introduction to our microtransaction store? Like,
Got
let's
him.
get you started on your purchasing history.
This is so bad. How do you mess up this badly?
I don't know. Todd Howard, save us, fix it.
Maybe.
I mean, it all comes down to their next game.
Starfield, is that what it's called?
Yeah, if Starfield turns out to be a pile of
Yeah,
Trash.
you know,
a big old steaming pile of esport.
we had to
Oh my
switch to
God.
it. Unfortunately, due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case. Yeah, that
Yep.
yeah,
sounds like a scam.
they should have sent them the nylon carrying case and $50. That's what they should have done.
Didn't they say like Starfield and Skyrim or the new Elder
Same
Scrolls
engine.
gonna run on the 76 engine? Yeah, they did.
Which
Okay.
isn't a huge deal because they've been. I mean, that engine works for. It's very good at how Bethesda likes to put every item as movable. It's very good at handling that.
Huh.
But like, I don't know.
I've heard that like some generic enemies will like randomly T-pose and just like come at you and still like attack you and do damage, but they're stuck in their T-pose.
That's
Oh, boy.
probably true.
This is, and also like, did you see like Bethesda's response to like them getting a crappy support answer? Fallout says the Bethesda's store support member is a temporary contract employee and not directly employed by
Yeah.
Bethesda. Like,
Really?
they're like not
Like-
even like taking any like blame
Oh my
Wow.
for
Yeah.
not for the nylon bag thing, but for the customer support, their own customer support people giving quote unquote
Like, hey-
inaccurate responses.
Yeah, like, hey, that guy, oh, he's just temporary. He's not really Bethesda. But thanks for contacting us. It's like, that's great, but
Oh man,
that doesn't.
Or-
What?
They did not say that.
it's
Yeah,
on the
they did.
it's on the Fallout Twitter, the official Fallout Twitter page. So you can
They
go
absolutely
ahead and,
did.
That is up on stream.
How can you defend Bethesda now? They're like,
Oh, This is actually like this could be a like legit lawsuit, like for real. Yeah, who know, like nylon bags are just way cheaper than canvas bags, like possibly
And
an order
not
of
as
magnitude
durable
like less in cost.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some crap.
Yeah.
Good job, Bethesda.
Yeah, you get a nice durable, good feeling bag to a like literal piece of garbage that's handed out for free at anime festivals. Level of quality.
Or just
so-
any convention, really.
Yeah, nylon bags they're so
Yeah.
cheap.
You want free nylon bags? Go to the first day of like semester at any university.
Yeah,
They'll
this
hand them
is
out.
probably like a
Just walk by
$5 to
campus.
$10 bag at best, where the original bag was probably in the realm of like $60 to $70.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yep. So that's all we got for news for the day.
Oh boy.
Shenmue.
So-
What else we got?
No, Shenmue Watch is after the main topic, which
Oh, the Smash
I
Ultimate.
and I know you guys have
Oh,
been
no,
wondering.
we did have the Smash Ultimate that we wanted to talk
Oh
You
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
talk about
Real
it?
quick, mention Smash Ultimate got leaked. Stay safe out there, fellas.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah.
We're
if-
all anti-spoiler, anti.
If-
people,
yeah, so we're not gonna spoil
we're not
nothing.
gonna-
Just
We're not going to talk about it.
yep, know that it got leaked. It accidentally got sold at a store.
Oh my God, Ridley's in Smash.
It really is in Smash, guys. It's confirmed. That's
Oh.
the one spoiler we're going to say.
I think Mega Man's in it too.
Okay,
and
that's
Shenmue.
that's a bit
I don't
that's a
know.
bit far. Oh yeah,
Shen-
Shenmue.
Shenmue made it in.
Shenmue made it.
Boys, you wanna hear-
DLC. Day 1 DLC.
You mean Rio? Shenmue? You
You
mean
mean
Rio?
Yeah, no, we mean Shenmue.
Oh my god.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
You guys are. You
Okay.
remind me of my friend Dennis. He was like, "Oh man, I love Guts. Berserk is such a cool. It's such a badass." And I'm like, "Dennis, did you listen to what you just said?"
You said a bad word. We're never gonna get a sponsor if you
love-
people keep cussing. There's like 6 of
What did
them
I-
today.
What did I
Speaking
say?
of today's sponsor, Bethesda. I hear they're offering a pretty good deal at Fallout 76 bundles. So
Yeah, they just
Ooh, got
announced
'em.
a few more Creation Club updates, so they're coming out with a few quest mods and an actual arena now.
yeah,
They,
they
and
actually
they're made by the guy who made the mod that
yeah
turned all the dragons into trains.
they have a
so
sick deal going on. You
just
can
think
get
about that for a bit.
you can get a Fallout 76 bundle for $200, and the special is that $100 of your dollars just disappears.
And they might send you the game.
Oh,
You
they'll
know
send
what
you something.
mod-
They'll send you some code, all right. It may or may not manifest itself into a game on your screen. No
You
one
know
really
what
knows.
mod you should get for Skyrim? The mod that changes the dragons into Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's like the only mod I've seen.
Because
The sauce.
it's meme god tier. It's amazing.
All right, but now we're gonna go ahead and drop it into the main topic of the week, the title of the podcast. You guys have all been wondering about the Grand Nintendo Conspiracy.
Hey, cat.
Question
So-
mark?
I've been doing some research these past couple of weeks, and I've been uncovering some news that I think is troubling. Nintendo has been dabbling in some things that are definitely have some questionable morality, and so I just want to preface this by saying if our stream goes down, that is definitely Nintendo who doesn't want the truth to get out.
They are taking
So-
down Smash Ultimate footage and the music and stuff. So
As they
Why
should,
would-
but that's a different topic.
Yeah,
I mean,
Why
anyway.
would they?
Why wouldn't
Unless it
they?
was aliens.
So
Protect those
I'm about to uncover some deep truths about Nintendo's shady dealings these past couple of
Ah,
years.
shit.
Yeah, make sure,
Um,
Dan, that you obfuscate the names of the people involved, please. Thank you.
Probably not gonna do
Protect.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
protect the innocent.
so-
But you gotta
Um,
protect the. Actually, or perhaps the not so innocent.
This relates directly to Smash Ultimate and its relationship with Melee. So I just want to talk a little bit first about Nintendo's relationship to the competitive Smash scene in the past. In the past, their relationship has been tenuous at best. There was the whole Evo debacle in 2013 where they threatened to shut down the stream if they wanted to try and stream Melee. It's just been like a history of repeated things where we've seen Nintendo being very unfriendly to Smash as a competitive game. And this is contrasting sharply with the rest of the video game world, where they actually do a lot to embrace esports. And so basically, my theory is Nintendo realized they made a mistake by not embracing Smash as a competitive game. And now they want to kind of undo their mistake by doing some shady stuff in the background to have Smash Ultimate in the end eclipse Melee as the go-to competitive Smash game. Right now, if you want to play competitive Smash, you play Melee. That's where all the prize money's at. There's a bunch of stuff going into that. And Nintendo doesn't make money off of Melee anymore. So what Nintendo wants to do is promote Smash Ultimate, which in and of itself is obviously not a bad thing for the competitive scene. However, in doing my research, I've discovered some disturbing trends as to how Nintendo is going about doing this.
I love your intro.
So what I've uncovered in my research is that in order to make sure that Smash Ultimate eclipses Melee as the go-to competitive Smash game, Nintendo is bribing top Melee players into giving up Melee and moving over to Ultimate. So I don't think this transition is going to be immediate. I think that there's lots of players that Nintendo's in conversations with, that Nintendo is funneling money into. But there has been the beginnings of this going on already, most notably with Armada, who retired from Melee
Oh my god.
publicly a couple months ago.
Oh my god.
So basically, my two linchpins for this theory are Armada's retirement coming with an announcement that he would try Ultimate when it came out. I think this is a little out of character for Armada. He doesn't why would he announce his retirement? And we'll get more into details about this later, about why I think Armada's retirement is super fishy. But I just don't think that it's characteristic for him to say, "Hey, I'm retiring from Melee singles. By the way, I'm gonna play Ultimate when it comes out." I just think that's really, really odd. The other thing is Mewtwo King is writing a book. He says it's about his life and his intro to the competitive Smash game scene. I think it's an expose exposing Nintendo for all this shady back work that
He did live with Zero, and Zero is going into Smash Ultimate.
Mauricio, I would like you to keep it serious, please. This is.
And
Sorry.
I think that Mewtwo King not getting into the Smash Ultimate Invitational is further evidence that that's kind of what's happening. So first, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into Armada's retirement, and I'll take a moment to talk about that. Armada has put an absurd amount of time into Melee, and he is considered by many to be the greatest player to ever touch the game. But coming out of the end of 2017, he was ranked number 3 in the world, which definitely wasn't what he wanted. He's a competitor. He wants to be number 1. And in 2018, he was on a pretty good track record to take that number 1 spot. The only player he had a losing record to was Leffen. He was the only player who had a winning record against the number 1 player, Hungrybox, and he was just destroying all other competition. So why is he going to retire at number 3 when number 1 is looking so likely to happen in 2018? Wouldn't he want to finish on top? Why would he retire after the summer of Smash? All the big tournaments are over at this point. He's got Big House and Summit left, and that's pretty much it. So why retire then if he is actually getting bored of playing Melee singles? The Smash season's over. So I think he actually didn't want to retire from Melee singles. And that's why he didn't retire until post-Summer of Smash, because that's how long he could put it up until the pressure from Nintendo became too great, and he was forced into an early retirement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And Armada also kind of refers to Ultimate as a new challenge in his retirement video. Something he's looking forward to as a new challenge, which is weird because he didn't show any interest in Brawl or Smash 4. I mean, he showed a very, very tiny bit of interest in Smash 4, but he's referring to Ultimate as this
Right,
new
and the
thing
game
that
hasn't even come out yet.
that he's looking to be number 1 in again. Why is he doing that? So like I think it's just the timing of his retirement is very odd, and the fact that it's after the summer of Smash when he's poised to be number 1 in 2018, and it's I don't know, just things aren't adding up to me for me.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
And the next thing I want to talk about is Mewtwo King. I actually went over this extensively in a previous podcast that we had back in season 1. Mewtwo King is easily the best or the second best person to be invited to the
Is that what they are to you, Dan?
I'm sorry, I misspoke there for a second. Mewtwo King is
They are but
easily either
characters
the
on the
best
screen.
or the second best candidate for being invited to the Smash Ultimate Invitational.
Preach.
The only other competition is Zero. Like, Mewtwo King plays every Smash game competitively. He was dying to get in, and he didn't. He was one of the like I said, he's one of the very few high-level players to play both Smash 4 and Melee, and yet he wasn't given a spot in the Invitational over players like Mango, Lucky.
Let's not forget,
And-
N2K is also a Nintendo brand ambassador.
Yeah. And
Holy crap.
another player that was invited, Armada. Interesting. This also coincided with Mewtwo King announcing his soft retirement from Melee in order to focus on his book. And he announced that he's been working on this book about a month before the Invitational. So what I think happened is he was approached by Nintendo. He was said, hey, we'll give you money if you quit Melee and play Ultimate. He said, no, I love Melee too much. I don't want to quit. And then they were like, hey, if you don't switch, you're not invited to the Invitational. And he's like, okay, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm not going to switch. I'm going to play, both games. So then he decided, okay, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to expose Nintendo for the evil snakes that they are. And I'm going to unveil this whole conspiracy. The book, in an interview, he said he's been working on it for over a year, and this could either be a lie or it could just be how long Mewtwo King has been in talks with Nintendo and has been compiling the data he needs to expose them. I actually do have an alternate theory as to why Mewtwo King wasn't invited to the Invitational. This is because the Invitational was being used as a bribe of sorts to get Melee players to switch to Ultimate. So they would fly him out to, where was it, Las Vegas or wherever it was. They'd booze him up, hookers blow, get the whole thing going.
Jeez.
This is the Nintendo life.
Sounds like a man devoid of morals.
Is that esports?
Jeez.
This is the Nintendo life.
It's the
If
truth.
you guys switch
Yeah.
to Ultimate.
We don't censor
Excuse
the
me.
truth here.
If you guys switch
Censor our swear words.
If you guys switch to Ultimate, this is, what's in store for you. And since Mewtwo King is already a shoo-in to play Ultimate, they didn't need to bribe him, so they didn't need to invite him. So then that might have some people wondering, well, why invite any Smash 4 players, because those are also shoo-ins to play Ultimate. And that's just because they didn't want to arouse suspicion. It'd be weird if they invited 8 Melee players.
Yeah, they have equations for this stuff. They know exactly how many Smash 4 players and Melee players to invite.
And then I have a couple, those are my main 2 linchpins for my argument. Mewtwo King's snub for the Smash Ultimate Invitational just doesn't sit right with me in any way. I didn't realize why it didn't sit right with me until I started digging into this Armada retirement and looking at other pieces of evidence that started building on top of each other, to the point where it just becomes obvious to me that Nintendo's been paying off these top players to switch from Melee to Ultimate when it comes out. And that's just kind of the rabbit hole that my research has led me down. So I want to bring up a couple ancillary pieces of evidence that
Ooh,
just
good
didn't
word,
really sit right
ancillary.
with me. Ancillary? I said ancillary.
No, I said that's a good word.
Oh, okay. So during the Smash Invitational, the Ultimate Invitational I was talking about, Mango tweeted out, "I'm never getting invited again, Raffle." He doesn't elaborate after this. There's no tweet follow-up. There's no, thing even days later. He just doesn't bring this up again. But a couple days later, Armada is the one who releases a video explaining what happened. Armada, the person who was talked into retiring by Nintendo, who's clearly bought into this Ultimate thing, is the person who's presenting why wouldn't Mango present an explanation as to what happened? Why are we getting this through the filter of Armada, who's clearly been bought by Nintendo? Also, just the story just doesn't sit right with me. The story is Mango is asked what he would like to say to Sakurai or Nintendo directly, and he responds by saying Melee is sick. This apparently continues for a couple times. They do like a couple interviews where they're trying to get different shots, and every single time Mango's reply is the same. This culminates in Mango admitting afterwards that he didn't know that Sakurai worked on all Smash games. He thought Sakurai only worked on Melee and was coming back for Ultimate. And the reason that they couldn't say this story earlier was because Sakurai being at the Invitational was supposed to be a secret, and that's why we couldn't hear it right away. A couple things, like I said, don't sit right with me. A, wouldn't it be weird if Sakurai wasn't there? Like, how is that a secret that Sakurai was going to be there? B, the story is just weird. It's not interesting. It's not something that would, like, get you banned from future invitationals. It's just, like, a thing that happened. C, you could tell the story. Like, I just told the story without mentioning Sakurai. Armada brings up the fact that Sakurai was there, like, once. Like, you can remove Sakurai from the story, and it still makes sense as a story. So, like, that excuse that, oh, we couldn't tell the story because Sakurai being there was a surprise, that doesn't make any sense, because Sakurai is not important to the story at all. So, I think a more likely explanation for why they couldn't say anything is the fact that everyone needed to get their stories straight so that what really happened didn't manage to get out. So everyone got their story straight. They decided that the approved channel that this story would be revealed through would be through Armada's YouTube. And I think what really happened is Mango either backed out of the deal or like said some bad things about the deal, saying he wouldn't switch over to Ultimate when it got released. He would stick with Melee. This is why he's not going to get invited back again, because their bribe didn't work. And like Armada being the one to present this story makes a lot of sense because he's the most bought over by Nintendo at this point. I also want to talk about like one other thing relating to Armada. I think I should have talked about this earlier, but I had my notes kind of disorganized, so I apologize. And that's the fact that people are bored with Melee right now. Hungrybox is dominating the game at a level that hasn't been seen since, I would say, pre-2013 Mango dominance, or, before that even. Hungrybox's level of dominance in the game right now is pretty crazy. And people don't like Hungrybox. People think he's a boring player to watch. People don't like his personality. So Armada kind of acted as a foil to Hungrybox. Armada, like I said earlier, was the only player with a winning record against Hungrybox. That meant if Armada and Hungrybox were both at a tournament, it was up in the air and it was exciting to watch because you didn't know who was going to win. With Armada retired, HBox is just the far and away clear favorite at any tournament he attends. And this is why it was so important to Nintendo that they got Armada. They needed Armada to retire so people would stop being interested in Melee. They needed Armada to retire so that Hungrybox would start winning everything, people would get bored, the viewership numbers would drop, Ultimate would come out, people would be like, well, I've been a Melee fan for years now, but I guess why not try something new since Melee is so boring now? Nintendo deliberately tried to make watching a Melee tournament a foregone conclusion, where you just know, oh, it's just going to be another Hungrybox romp. What's the point? Like, what's the point of watching Melee when the winner's already decided? So that Melee fans would turn to Ultimate on its release. That's why Armada's one of the few top players to announce his retirement at this point in the game. I think other players are going to announce either they're switching part-time or fully very soon. Plup seems like a good candidate. He said, just because he's been like kind of dropping evidence earlier that he might switch to Ultimate, saying he has aspirations of being a top Ridley player. There's a lot of examples of Melee players who've been showing an unusually high interest in Smash Ultimate. Like, just this wasn't around for Smash 4. No one was really there for Smash 4. There was actually a tweet by Twitter user Bones0 to Death where he tweeted out 10 players who retired this year, like as like oh rip, these 10 players retired, how sad. And the list, I don't think there's a lot of interesting things. Like, I'm not saying for sure that all these people have been bought over by Nintendo, but you know, it's possible that all these people have been bought over by Nintendo. One person I do want to focus in on is Crush. Now, we all know the story of Crush. If you're not familiar, he was a top level player. He was top 20. He was, you know, out there taking names, doing very, very good. And he had a kind of over the top Twitter personality where he would just say like quippy things all the time, and he would be like, you know, kind of trying to get a rise out of players. Like, one of his most famous tweets is, "Why do all ice climbers' mains look like they collect bugs?"
So he was a troll.
And he's also a huge critic of anything that Nintendo has done other than Melee. He has referred to, when asked, I think he was asked about Ultimate right before he retired and deleted his Twitter, which he retired and deleted his Twitter, by the way, which is, I'm going to talk more about why that's interesting. But before he retired and deleted his Twitter, he was asked about Ultimate, and he said, "Why would I play Brawl 3?" Like, he just has a very negative opinion about Brawl, Smash 4. He doesn't think Ultimate's going to be good. And he's been one of Nintendo's most vocal critics. So his disappearance from the scene, it's not exactly out of character, but, you know, it does seem a little bit odd with all of this other evidence running around that Nintendo's been, like, giving people either money to retire or hush money to keep their mouths shut. So I think that Nintendo wanted to silence their most vocal critic with a little bit of hush money. They're saying, "Hey, stop tweeting about how Melee is way better than other Smash games. In fact, here's $100,000. Just stop playing Melee. Delete your Twitter." So this happened right when Ultimate was around the corner. I think that's kind of weird timing. So he and Armada are the obvious standouts of people who retired this year. The other people, if they pop up, I just want to say something anecdotally about MacD. This is a little less concrete than the other evidence I've presented. But MacD, I actually played a tournament set with him in Smash 4, so he has shown interest in other Smash games. Him retiring might make sense if he's going to be switching to Ultimate. He's shown interest in Smash 4. He's, you know, he was decent at the game. I mean, I took a game off him, so he wasn't that good, but, you know, I was kind of good back in my prime, so maybe he is that good. I don't know. That's more anecdotal. Like I said, it's not as concrete as the other stuff I've been telling you guys about. I also want to take a moment to talk about Rishi, who has taken a very vocally positive approach to Ultimate. He's talked about rule sets. He's talked about hosting Discord calls with you know, people on Ultimate's release to lab tech. And I think this is interesting because I think someone at Nintendo messed up and got Zane and Rishi confused. And I think they accidentally paid off the wrong person to publicly promote Ultimate.
You know, I've been thinking the same thing.
I think Zane as a pick makes a lot of sense for supporting Ultimate, just because he's had this mediocre. This really fast rise. I'm just giving up on that word.
Meteoric, that's it. Meteoric.
He's had this really meteoric rise. His influence has been growing a lot. People like Zane a lot. So it would make a lot of sense for Zane to be like, "Hey, you guys should play Ultimate." Instead, we have Rishi, who, you know, commonly gets confused for Zane. They both play Marth. They're both from MDVA. They're both, you know, people of color. It would
Tread lightly,
make sense
Dan.
for them to want Zane to promote Ultimate, and Rishi starts promoting Ultimate. I think that's kind of interesting. And then Mango on Twitter a couple days ago got drunk and said the reason why I haven't gotten my hands on the Smash League yet is because Nintendo doesn't want me to, because like I'll say the game sucks a fatty, I think were something like the exact words.
Sucks a fatty. Sounds like Mango.
Yeah. I think, and then the next day he's like, my drunk opinions do not reflect my actual opinions. I'm sorry about making that tweet. I think that's a little odd that he publicly apologized because Mango's not that type of person. He's he says controversial things and he sticks to them, and like I don't know, that just strikes me as odd that he apologized for something that was not super, it was pretty innocuous. Like
Has he lost conviction?
I don't know, man. There's one more thing that I pulled up during my research that I want to talk about, and this one isn't directly related to my community at all. Ninja announced that he has something exciting coming for the Smash community.
Speaking of which, please give our boy Ninja a follow and a subscribe, at least
He
tier
really
2.
deserves it. He needs more money.
What he has done for this podcast and the community is immeasurable. The least you can do is give him some of your petty cash.
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
I think that Nintendo is, giving Ninja some monetary incentive to increase excitement for Ultimate. This doesn't necessarily link up with them, paying off Melee players to quit Melee, but it does kind of prove that Nintendo's willing to spend money to get top esports personalities to promote Ultimate. So like I said, that's not directly related to the conspiracy. It just shows that Nintendo does have an appetite for monetarily incentivizing people to promote Ultimate. Anyway, that's the basics of my argument. Nintendo's motives are pretty clear here. They want to, get into that esports money. They see companies like Riot doing incredibly well right now. They see companies, like Blizzard doing really well with their esports, and they realize that they kind of missed the boat, and they're playing catch up now, and they realize that they're playing catch up. They can't just do what Riot's doing because they're already behind. Riot did that years ago. They need to do something to catch up, and that's why they're taking these drastic measures to make interest in Melee die, to get top esports community members like Ninja involved, to get Armada, get Mango, get Plup, get Rishi accidentally instead of Zane, to get hype about Ultimate. And I just think that there's too much evidence to think otherwise at this point. So
I want to add one point. So you said that they paid Armada to leave so HBox would have no one to compete with, thus driving interest down. But what if, and work with me here, HBox is in on it too. Nintendo paid HBox, they assigned him the role as the villain, the boring man. Who better than a Jigglypuff main? And we know he's a sellout. And what else did HBox do? He humiliated Reggie on stage at E3.
Interesting. That was an angle I had considered. I didn't consider the whole Reggie thing, but I had considered, maybe, Hungrybox does seem kind of in on it because he has been encouraging his Twitter following to check out Ultimate. So it makes sense that Nintendo would be asking him to promote Ultimate while also asking him to make Melee a less friendly spectator sport.
Yeah. And HBox has a full-time job. He doesn't need the money. He probably didn't even get paid very much. And we know he's not going into Ultimate, so they don't want the villain to go into Ultimate and ruin that too, right?
Who knows?
But you need a heel. You need a heel.
Mm-hmm. So
who's gonna be the heel?
HBox goes back to his full-time job, leaves the Smash community once he has successfully killed Melee, like he was tasked to do. I don't know what else there is to say.
There was a time
pretty damning
where he had a full-time job and then quit his full-time job to focus hard on Melee. This was just a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which that timing is actually very interesting. About the same time that M2K may have started his book, as well as a few other pieces of evidence that Dan.
And he secretly took the job back. So how long has this been going on? We don't really know.
Downright damning.
How long is this?
I don't know what else you could think with like all of this stuff that we've been.
Sorry, I left while you were explaining your theory.
Thank you for telling us that.
No, did you say that Mango was is in on it too?
Mango's status is kind of unclear at this time. He was either they attempted to bribe him and then he backed out is one of the things I think. But also his recent Twitter activity has kind of contradicted that, where he made a tweet negging Ultimate and then retracted it later. Like he actually apologized for a drunk tweet, which is just something Mango doesn't do. So
What a nice guy.
I don't know. My leading theory about the Mr. Nintendo story, as it's been dubbed by Armada, is that he didn't accept the bribe, but his recent Twitter activity has made me reconsider that. I'm not sure where I lie on that now.
Maybe he's just covering himself from the lawsuits that'll come.
Perhaps he just took hush money, like you said.
That's possible.
So am I going to be the straight man in this, or?
I'm
We
sorry,
understand.
I'm pretty
What
sure
are you
we're the
talking
straight.
about?
I'm not.
We're the ones that Julian. We're the ones with evidence.
Yeah, I suppose if you have some counter evidence to show right now, now would be a time to do it.
I mean,
I
Mango
challenge
did
you.
say that. Mango did say that Armada has been not feeling Melee for a while before he retired. Well, after he retired.
This has been going on for a while. If you listened to
Yeah. And what would Mango
our
really know?
Lord
He
here,
hasn't
Dan.
played Melee in years. He's been streaming all this time.
He's been streaming.
He's out of the loop.
And Armada did say he wanted to focus on streaming rather than like competing.
He's in
And
it for the
how
money.
has that been going for him?
I don't know.
How many people watch his stream?
We know his motive is money. That proves it.
And Sweden
Proves
taxes
it.
suck you dry.
Mm-hmm.
That Nintendo money probably sounded pretty good.
I guess. I mean, I left while you were like talking, so I'm trying to think of other stuff.
Yeah, the notes are in the document if you want to see them.
Maybe if you want to research your argument first before you come in here.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't Mutant King's book about his life?
That's
Well, of course,
It's
that's what
called
that says.
lying.
It's called Lying.
his book's not released yet. We don't know what it's about. We know
That's
what
true.
it says it's about. It says
But
it's
why,
about his
why
life.
would Mutant King
It's not
lie
about-
about it?
Because if he said,
'Cause
"Oh,
if
I'm
he-
writing
said-
an expose about the Grand Nintendo conspiracy," they'd be
He's
like,
as good as dead.
"Yeah."
Look,
But like, it's
Yeah.
gonna come out anyway.
Look,
With
Nintendo has a whole slew of Italian plumbers disguised as assassins that'll come after him.
By the time he releases the book,
I think I mixed that up, but whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say
For a
when
long
Mutant
time.
King drops that book, he's gone. You'll never hear or see him again.
I see.
He's,
Okay.
he's living it up in Russia with his boy, the Whistleblower clan, and it's basically on the same scale. If we're being honest, it's the same thing as the NSA. Except
Similar.
Also,
similar. Yeah, not the same thing. Similar in scope for sure, and implication.
Mhm. I know we've just been going over some heavy stuff, guys, but I think now's a good time to transition into our more lighthearted end of show topics.
Okay.
This one's going to be running a little short, and by a little short, I guess this episode's going to end when we always intend episodes to end, but never when they actually do end.
are we really gonna stop with the Grand Nintendo conspiracy now?
What else
Well,
is there to say?
Do you have any more to say? Well, I mean, we've laid out all the facts on the table.
To remember to stay safe.
Watch your back. Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah, and if I'm not here next week, that means I've been taken out.
And if we're all talking about how, actually, never mind. I want to keep
will be
keep myself
swift.
alive.
I don't blame you, Mitch. I needed to get the truth out there, though.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'm a sellout.
For those of us listening to this on Live Leak, because obviously it's been taken down everywhere else. Thank you for supporting the show.
Also, Plup is a huge fan of Super Metroid. To my,
Look at this guy. He doesn't. He
To my
comes in
knowledge.
here with these opinions. He doesn't back them up with anything.
Well, yeah, they asked Plup, hey, pick a
is it-
character, pick a favorite character to call out as your
I mean-
main. He's like they didn't like totally
didn't, like-
restrict them of all their freedom. Like they want it to be believable. Like if he said like,
I
oh, I'm gonna
see.
be the best Luigi in the world in Ultimate, no one would believe him. But he's a lifelong Metroid
Yeah.
fan, and his boy Ridley finally makes it into the game. It makes perfect sense as a choice.
Perfect
Mhm.
sense.
I see.
This they don't want it to be that out in the open. Not everyone is as smart as Dan. Okay.
And guys, I've been digging through this for weeks now. I just the further I get into it, the more convinced I am that this is happening.
Dan hasn't left his house in 2 months.
Oh,
This is
Oh,
this
dang
is a
it.
fact.
And Zero did say that he would come back he would come back to competing if the new Smash game was announced before this whole conspiracy thing. When he retired.
Yeah, I think Zero's coming back is less significant, just because that's kind of always been expected. You know, I'm not unreasonable. I'm not gonna say every little thing is, oh, it's proof of the conspiracy. Zero coming back, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, though Zero retiring is kind of an interesting topic, just because Zero retiring really marked the beginning of the fall of Smash 4. Like, in a very
That's-
significant way, even before Ultimate got announced.
Oh yeah. And of course they want Smash.
Yeah.
And of course they want Smash 4 to die. That's why they released Bayonetta.
They want the Wii U to die.
Yeah.
That's
keeping the Wii
that
U
is
alive.
true.
Smash
Yeah.
4.
And you know they took Tropical Freeze and they raised its price when they remade it for some reason, and whatever. I'm not salty.
Mitch, was that really relevant, or did you just want to?
Hey,
his
want to
point-
bring that up?
The Wii
His
U has to
point
die.
was
You know?
valid.
Just unrelated. So we
Anyway.
had a not get ourselves killed topic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Shenmue
do.
Watch.
Let's talk about some stuff that won't get us assassinated.
Yes.
I still have some more straight man stuff to say about this.
Oh please, we're tired of your skepticism here. back,
I'm
come
just gonna
back. Come back when you've got some proof.
All right, Julian, go ahead. We'll give you 5 more minutes on the floor here. What do you got?
Can't believe we're even listening to this guy.
Most of these players that are retiring are like older. You know what I mean? Like they've been playing for a while.
And they're looking
So-
for retirement money.
Do you think someone playing for 6 months retiring is gonna matter?
No, it's just
Yes,
Like, they
I
have
do.
other
Are
reasons to
invested-
retire.
These are if you've been in the game for a while, there's reason to want a safer source of income than like a sponsor who could drop you any week. Or
Yeah.
you
So
know,
why not just get a job? No, you take Nintendo's money.
yeah. Like older players are already invested. Older players don't have a fallback at this point. They need money coming in from Smash, and whether
And
that
they
money
want
comes from
something that
tournament
won't
winnings-
destroy their hands.
also Crush is HBox's coach, right? So like he has.
No,
I'm not sure if
That's
HBox has-
Crunch.
Crunch.
Oh, Crunch.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
God.
Oh,
yes,
but
I
we're
had-
done with you.
Whoa!
He doesn't even have his facts straight. Oh
Not
my God.
even
Wait.
close.
That was my mistake.
You know what isn't a mistake? All the facts Dan and I have presented.
You know
And
what
the
else
group.
isn't a
I don't know why I
mistake?
included myself in that.
Your 4-month free trial with Blue Apron. Blue Apron offers ready-to-make meals delivered to your door every day.
Did we put in the Blue Apron plug?
Oh,
With Blue Apron, you cannot be bad in the kitchen and maybe finally do something worthwhile with that space of your apartment.
Oh man, Sesh Mango's on to us.
And they'll send you a canvas
Wait,
apron
what?
for your first purchase.
Person in the chat, Sesh Mango.
Oh, chat.
Nice,
Oh,
Mitch. I
someone-
caught that. That was
Thanks.
good.
I appreciate that. We have someone in our chat. Ooh.
Yeah.
Cease your investigation immediately.
Whoa, bits!
Uh,
Holy shit!
Whoa!
Holy esports.
Wait.
Holy esport.
Oh yeah, bits.
Thanks for the 3 bits, Sesh Mango.
Your money will be donated to Ninja.
All right, I think it is time, since Julian clearly has nothing else constructive to add to this conversation. We are
He's
going
doing
to
his
drop
favorite.
into Shenmue Watch.
Was there actually something?
There's
Yeah.
actually
There is actually something.
Actually, what are you talking about? Every week we got sent.
Yes.
All right.
So for those who don't know, Shenmue Watch is our weekly rib
that.
on Shenmue 3. Basically by giving recaps on Shenmue 3 development news. For some reason, we do this. So Shenmue 3 announces final crowdfunding total. Are y'all ready?
Yep.
$7,179,510 over 3 years. Yep,
It's happening, everybody.
that
It's
is
happening.
guys.
that is 81,087 people who were scammed.
What's
So
the bigger-
Okay.
What's the bigger scam? Fallout
Okay.
76 or Shenmue 3?
That's
So
tough
who's
one.
the head of this?
yeah, we can straw poll that. So straw
And what does
poll.
the chat say?
What is a bigger scam, Shenmue 3 or the Fallout 76
number
canvas versus nylon bag?
Ooh. Damn, Laron, that was good.
Inafune's got some competition.
Yeah, Concept is not dead yet.
Yeah, I don't get this. What is Seth Mango saying? A percentage of my bits will probably go towards this.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. That's
Cancer
he's the owner. He's the CEO
Amazon.
of
Yeah,
Amazon.
But what are cancer satellites? I'm not-
They're satellites that give people cancer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Amazon's really trying to get into everything, and what better way to get into large scale medical care than giving everyone cancer? Anyway, it makes perfect sense. we're figuring everything out as we move on in this.
The truth will be revealed.
Yeah, that we should really rename the podcast to The Truth. Like just
Actually,
The truth?
that's not a terrible idea. Actually, it's much better than our current name.
So moving on into our last topic of the night, a lighthearted news topic.
I like the name. It hurts.
GameStop customer trashes store for not being able to return Fallout 76.
I'm sorry.
Oh man,
Okay.
I saw that at work. That was nuts.
This is more Bethesda. Oh my god.
So is it confirmed that he was returning Fallout 76? Because I don't know if that was actually confirmed or not.
Shh. What is
Yeah,
with
that-
you today?
That is not 100% certain. He was certainly trying to return something and ended up totally trashing the store.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, it could have been a completely different game. Now that we think about it critically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there was a video of this. The customer walks off camera as a different customer walks into the store, which is right when you hear a loud commotion happening off camera. The camera then quickly pans over to the disgruntled customer trashing several store displays on his way out. So, yeah.
You can play the video on stream.
I'm looking at an article now, trying to.
Yeah, the article I have open doesn't have the video. So if somebody does have access to the video, that would be cool. But
Did you like?
So far, it
Go
was actually Fallout 76.
We talked like most of our news topics were Fallout 76 this week, which is fine because Fallout.
Because it's
76
meme
is a
material. I
beautiful,
mean, news
hot
material.
yeah, it was a pile of steaming garbage. But
And you
except
know
for
what?
though, I guess for the few people who it works for, some of them like it.
Our friend likes it.
Yeah, we do know somebody who likes it. So you know, it's definitely not all bad. All right, here we go. Here's
Did you hear the employee like when he after he trashed the store, he was doing his job normally.
Okay.
Like he
Okay.
answered the phone and was like, "Welcome to
Oh,
game."
he was just like, whatever. I mean, what else are you gonna do? He's not, he's got a business to run.
oh god.
Can't just be like, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
that
I
was,
can't answer your phone, ma'am. This esports walked in here and just
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
You
trashed
didn't
my
see the video?
shop.
Yeah.
No. That was.
Oh yeah, yeah. The guy was pissed.
Yeah, he was mad.
Are you gonna link this in like the YouTube?
Damn.
Please, so that like.
Ooh, man. No, I just watched. It was just on stream, and everyone watching got to see it with our reactions in real
I'll
time.
put it in the Twitch chat.
Oh, you get the same recommendations I do.
Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah, okay, I would definitely call that store trashed. I was kind of wondering what they meant by trashing the store. That was trashing the store, 100%.
Yeah.
That was like.
Well, I think that's a good thing to end on. So thank you all for watching. This week clearly was actually brought to you by Fallout 76. Next week we will do our podcast on 76 reasons to buy Fallout 76.
76 reasons to buy
And
Fallout
thank-
76.
And thank you for dealing with all of our bugs, Julian.
Whew.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yep, and the stream will now crash. So
I
have
don't get it.
yourselves a wonderful night, and thanks for listening, especially to all of our new viewers. Shout out to our #1 bid donor this week, Sesh Mango, the hotly contested #1. Tune back in next
sure
week if
that's,
you want to try to be #1.
Pretty sure that's an all-time high too. So that's gonna be good.
Take care of your third eye, Session.